I wonder what doing that on Insanity would be like. Oh my god! I feel like doing a challenge like that would just bring out the worst in me. Dude, this game is so... I would just be miserable. Oh my god, this is so fucking stupid. But, for content.
My famous last words before I attempted the worst challenge I could think of. This is Resident Evil Requiem on Insanity difficulty. A difficulty so brutal that literally everything one-shots you. And on top of that, I'm not allowed to heal, use the blood collector, and I have to beat the game in under 4 hours. A challenge so brutal, I'm calling it the trifecta from hell. But come on, it can't be that bad, right? During Grace's intro section, the only thing worth mentioning is the antique coins. There's one on the stairs shortly after spawning in the streets, and another one in the hotel on the desk. I'm going to be using quite a few of these for some items in the care center later on. Now as Leon, I pick up the tracking bracelet on the right and start to head into the city. I start by running past the lady zombie and then hop over a car, and then in the back of this van is another tracking bracelet. And here is where things start to get a little annoying for me. I do realize I'm already completing 1.5 minutes in the video, but at this point, what do you expect from me? Anyways, I run on the right side here, and instead of helping the guy getting nibbled on, I run right past him, parrying a blister head and another zombie. But I receive instant karma and also become nibbled on. I tried a few different strategies here, some more respectable than others, but eventually I was able to get by unscathed by running through the middle and then taking a hard right moving forward. Big surprise here that I missed the 3-way collateral shot with the Requiem, but I could not be bothered to reset again, so I just continued forward. Back as Grace, I run to grab the cherub key, unlock the door, and grab the lighter and a bottle. Before activating the girl, I grab another bottle on the table. And now we're gonna perform a sneaky little skip. To pull this off, right after triggering the girl, immediately turn around and run out the door, standing tucked on the left side. As soon as the girl appears stuck in the corner of the door, you can run past her back into the room. And I promise you, it is a lot harder than it looks. But after making it past her, I position myself on the third tile and wait for the girl to throw the cart over. Once she does, I quickly climb up, quick turn to grab the screwdriver, and run back to the cherub room. I then grab the fuse and escape, starting Leon's second section. Now as Leon, I buy the shotgun and upgrade the sight, attach the cute bear charm, and realize I'm too poor to upgrade the power. I was a little short because of that missed collateral shot from earlier. Also, most if not all of these strategies you're seeing are all speedrun strategies I learned from watching Spicy TV and Distortion 2, so huge shout out to the speedrunning community because otherwise I would not have been able to do this at all. To start Leon's fight section, after the nurse is taken out, I switch to the Requiem and wait until the doctor is uncomfortably close to me. This lets Leon perform a finisher so he gets taken out very easily. I then shoot at the nurse with the Requiem, switch to the shotgun, and take care of the enemies in the other room. Now back as Grace, we have the Requiem thanks to Leon, but because I can't use the blood collector, I can't craft any ammo, so I do have to be smart when I use it. The first hurdle in the care center is the chef. There's a dodge to get past him that I'm very clearly garbage at. So I opted to sneak by him like a coward, and I also took his coin. To get past the light switch guy, I stunned him with a bottle, and in the dining room, I quickly ran around the table to grab another bottle, which I instantly used on this guy to get past him to get up the stairs. On the stairs, you can easily get past this zombie if you just crouch walk when you're going around the corner. In the bar area, I was a complete idiot, and for some reason I thought there was an antique coin on the piano, but I guess there isn't on Insanity, so this section got really messed up for me. Which means I have to start back at the beginning again because Grace's section has little to no autosaves. But luckily for me, I got back to where I was super fast because of my insane accuracy.
Bruh.
After finally making my way back to the chairman's office, I grabbed the jewel and the quartz before heading to the parlor, where I died a number of times. But come on, that was some insane grab range. But I finally managed to grab the key card and dodge him by taking a wide loop out from behind him. Now in the west wing, I grab the antique coin from the drawer and run past the zombies in the surgery room. I make sure to turn on the light switch while running down the hall so that the light switch zombie moves out of the way. Once he's out of the way, I move past him down the hall and get ready to perform a collateral on the 3 zombies coming around the corner. Which, if you're me, is really hard. Not only am I bad under pressure, but I have horrible aim. After finally getting them all down, I pick up the antique coin from the surgeon and head back to the parlor to unlock the RIP knife. I ended up picking up the pistol in the reception area on the way, and now with the knife in hand, I head to the swamp. That'll make sense later, I promise. After grabbing the wristband, you can get past Chunk if you hug the left side and look down. Then I run into the door on the left and jump over the ledge. And surprise, surprise, I messed up here because I was too slow. So I had to perform that collateral again, but this time I didn't land headshots, which at the time I didn't realize was not good at all. After finally managing to grab the corrosive, I was very unfortunately impaled and injected. But as they say, third time's the charm. That is until Chunk flattened me. But the fourth time was really the charm this time because I dodged my way past Chunk and used the corrosive to get the second quartz. On the way out, Chunk should be heading down the stairs, so I shoot him in the back to aggro him. I bait an attack on the left and then move out of the way on the right and head down the stairs. Now Chunk will be following us, so I head back to the waiting room and get ready to throw a bottle at the doorway. Doing this aggroes the hell out of the IV guy, who will go sicko mode on wherever the glass broke, so if you throw it in the doorway, Chunk should be there and it'll result in some friendly fire. While all that was going on, I forgot to grab the RIP knife in the room, so I had to get creative because the cleaning zombie was blocking the door. So I lured her outside into the main area and used the RIP knife to take her out. Now I headed back to the parlor to grab the hip pouch, but this guy was lurking in front of me, so I decided to stagger him with some gunshots and then finished him off with the RIP knife. And here I was in a pickle. I knew I needed Requiem ammo to do the cabin section with Emily, but that means going into the pantry. So I sent the keeper of the gate flying, made a safety save, and headed into the kitchen. Here I ended up just unlocking the pantry to activate the zombies, and then I headed out to the garage to collect the lungs. After finishing up outside, the keeper of the gate ends up turning into a blister head. Great. I tried to sneak by them and then perform a stun and run on the zombie camping in the pantry, but that didn't exactly go to plan. So I decided to grab the heart first and try and brainstorm an idea of how to infiltrate the pantry. I came up with the brilliant idea to lure the zombies one at a time to their, and sometimes my, impending doom. After they were dealt with, I looped the blister head around in the parlor and finally made my way into the kitchen. And before going into the pantry, I wanted a safe exit strategy, so I went through the other door and killed the light switch zombie, but ended up breaking my knife in the process. In the pantry, I lured the zombie out, looped him around the island, and picked up the Requiem ammo. Finally, oh my god. Now, remember how I said not getting headshots in that collateral was not good at all? Well, this is why. The surgeon just gets back up and somehow moseys on back in here. So now there's 3 zombies in this small room and I have 2 bullets. To fix that, I grabbed the ammo from the parlor, but now I needed a plan. The only real problem in this room was the surgeon, so I decided to lure him out and I killed him with the handgun. And you're actually able to put the organs in if the other zombie in the room isn't aggro to you, so I decided to sneak back in and I put them in place. As soon as this guy got up, I killed him with a knife, stole his bracelet, and went into the isolation ward. There, I collect the level 3 bracelet and see Braille, and head back to Emily. The way back to the ward was a bit of a struggle, but I ended up following this line and managed to get by unscathed on my second attempt. Now in the cabin section of the game, I shoot the 2 zombies in the room on the left to try and get a collateral, but I didn't, so I finished one off with the pistol. I killed the third with a few shots to stagger him and then finished him off with the knife, and the 4th zombie torpedoed himself at me through the window, which is something I had no idea they could do in this game. But 2 attempts later, I finished him off and hid from the blister head like the true coward that I am. Now back as Leon, we're immediately faced with a boss fight and killing Chunk's twin brother, and I tried doing the speedrun strategy here by standing in the corner and unloading on him, but it didn't really go to plan. And by that, of course, I mean he rocked my shit. But on my second attempt, I managed to get it done. I combined the speedrun strategy with a strategy of my own, which was just running in a circle, but I got the job done in the end. Now in the care center, I make sure to kill most of the enemies on my way to Victor's office, so that way I can get more points for the upgrades. In Victor's office, it's now time for one of the most cursed sections of the game for me, especially to do without taking any damage. So right after passing the couch, the room will start, so I shoot the zombie with the axe hiding behind the love seat. In the room with the elevator, I shoot the zombie sitting down before opening the door. I then run back to where I came from, use the axe and the blister head to stun him, somehow parry the guy with the axe, and finish off the blister head. I finish off the zombie and use the axe on the blister head activating on the floor. I take out 2 more of them and then finish off the last one guarding the elevator. And yeah, that was totally my first try. Now to start the basement section off as Grace, I grab the first plug, which activates the girl, but a single pistol shot slows her down enough to let us get by. I insert the plug to let me into the furnace, and fail miserably at juking the zombie. And again, and again. Hey, they don't call me Danny Dies a Lot for nothing. And after looting some ammo and crafting a knife, I finally took him out with a combination of staggers and slashes. I grabbed the empty bottle and loot the second plug, making my way to the... Oh, actually never mind because I got mauled. A few attempts later, I got past him by waking up with a few pokes to the face, looted the plug, and then sent him with the bottle to get by. Back in the furnace, I reacquire the first plug I put in and stun the zombie so I can head towards the boiler room. There, I grab the tool and a bottle and of course fail miserably at this juke. So instead of doing it the cool guy way, I ended up using a bottle instead to get past her. On the way out, I grab the plug and head towards the safe room where the girl will try to grab me, but quickly entering will dodge her attack. I staggered the guardian of the plug sockets with a few shots, use the tool, and then put the plugs in place. I collect the forklift key and head back to the guardian of the sockets. I got super lucky here with the RNG and he stumbled away, but of course I choked mere seconds later. And I didn't get so lucky the second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth time, but the seventh time sure was the charm. I then found myself in a bit of a pickle. I had to get past 3 zombies and juke the girl, which is usually done with a quick gunshot, but I only had 1 bullet. And after a few attempts, I finally managed to get past the 2 zombies in the boiler room, but I could not get past the girl in the inspection room, no matter what I tried, and trust me, I died so many times. So I ended up making the torturous decision to restart the basement. This time around, I killed this guy instead of staggering him and let the guardian of the socket continue his prophecy. Now back to the same spot, I had 4 bullets in a glass bottle and a few resets because of my accuracy issue. I used my bottle to lure the 2 zombies out of the way and then distracted the girl with the pistol shot behind her and burned her with the light. I used the forklift key and some sneaky FPS swapping to get past the bags and begin a section that really isn't that hard, but I just suck, I guess. Yeah, as you could probably imagine, I struggle here, and I really don't want to talk about it. My problem here was I didn't realize that it was 2 headshots to get the stagger. I thought body shots worked too, but clearly not. So to finally finish this godforsaken section, I managed to stagger the zombies with 2 headshots each, and then I would push them either into each other or into the huge blender, and I finished the last few off with a Molotov. Now with that over, I ran past the zombies in the furnace and hid from this blister head while slashing his knees. Not my proudest moment, especially because it didn't even work. So on my second attempt, I zipped up my big girl pants, looted the plug, and looped him around the forklift. I grabbed the last plug and finally rescued Emily from her cell and headed to the chopper! But first, of course the pilot didn't have his keys, and I had to go down to the blood lab. And here, my friends, is where my death toll got to 100. Not because of a lack of skill, but because of a lack of intellect.
Yes, Zeno, that's correct. All tests have come back positive. I can confirm that she is
a complete and utter dumbass. I kept taking the wrong line and then wondering why it wasn't working. But after finally using my brain and getting past the first section, we have the blister head section. So to get past this section, I changed my perspective to third person because Grace runs a bit faster and it'll help me dodge an enemy coming up. After making it up the stairs, I wait at the corner for the blister head to aggro and then I can run right past him to the ladder. And to finish off Grace's part, I used my last 2 bullets to stagger the zombie because there was no chance I was doing the blood lab again. Finally back as Leon, I buy and upgrade the sniper rifle and begin the sniper section. I snipe all the enemies in sight and take care of the 2 zombies up here with me with the shotgun. All with the accuracy of Spicy TV himself. If he was blind. Yeah, I seriously used all of my ammo on this. In the chapel, I arrived at another mini boss fight with the Blisterborn, and I thought this would go a lot worse than it did considering my performance so far, but it went pretty okay. Okay being totally subjective here. To start the fight, I run in the opening on the left side and shoot the bubble on his back until it explodes. I then use the barrel to blow up another bubble which ends up killing a zombie by the door with an axe, which I can use to stun the boss and take out another bubble. I then use 2 grenades to finish him off, just leaving a blister head in the room, which I almost died to but ended up clutching up. Now back as Grace, I grab the Requiem from storage and head down to turn on the power. I tried to do the speedrun strat here, but got decapitated a few times. Or I guess wig snatched because she was just biting off my hair. But anyways. So I decided to try something different and start with the crank that's stuck. By interacting with it, the girl will come through the ceiling and I have just enough time to make it past her and turn on the light to stun her. When she's stunned, I crouch to get by her and then turn on the crank to resupply the power unit. I then run into the room and grab the loose crank, but before I'm able to put it in, the girl will throw me towards the door. After recovering, I run to the other power supply unit, but once I get there, she comes through the ceiling again, so I stun her with the light and turn on the power. And here she tricked me and made me waste 2 Requiem shots on her because she just teleported, but 2 more shots later I stunned her again and turned on the final power supply unit. And now with the hatch finally opened, instead of shooting her like the game wanted me to, I just watched her burn. But back as Leon, I tried to do the opposite and aimed for all of Emily's vitals. Doing so closes out this area and brings us back to Raccoon City, where it all started. At the supply box, I buy the gal, and then I decapitate this zombie and start the next boss fight. The giant, kinda cute but kinda terrifying spider. To start, I shoot the spider 4 times with a shotgun, and then run to the end of the hall, shooting it another 4 times with the rifle before it is scripted to throw me through the wall. And instead of trying to damage her here, I'm just going to run straight to the actual arena. On the way, I kill all the baby spiders and make sure to parry the attack from the boss coming from the window. I had a bunch of resets here, and not because the fight was hard, but because I wasn't getting the quick kill, and I wanted to conserve my ammo, and also because of my accuracy issue.
Pow. Wham. First try.
So to take out the spider, I started by blasting it with a shotgun, and then I ran straight to the explosive barrel to the right. Going into this area should trigger the spider to break through the wall, so I quickly threw the barrel to stun it, and then I unloaded my shotgun on it. In the speedrun, the spider should die here, but obviously for me, that didn't happen. I think my range could have been off here because with the Hugh Bear charm, if you're too close to your enemy, the damage is actually reduced by 20%. So to finish her off, I hopped up the ladder, and then she came through the window, so I shot the red barrel and shot her with a shotgun. I then looped around and finally killed her with a few more shells. After the fight, I made my way to the BSAA camp, bought some ammo, and headed inside. To start this section, I shoot the crane holding up the platform and try to do the same on the other side, but as per usual, I was too slow, and I can't aim. But once up on the platform, I ran past the zombies and ran through the door after it was opened. I climbed to the top, collect the distributor, and head for the wheel section with the Blisterborn fight. And big surprise here, I couldn't get the speedrun strategy to work without taking any damage, so I came up with one of my own. After grabbing the wheel, 3 zombies will spawn in, so I took them out each with a shotgun. Then I crank the wheel, looking to the right where the Blisterborn will come into view. I wait for it to do 2 attacks and then quickly parry the second as I let go of the wheel. I then run back to where I collected the wheel in a little tunnel and use a grenade to stagger the Blisterborn. I kill the zombie in the way, finish turning the wheel, and grab a fuse on my way out. Now in the parking garage turned kiddie pool, instead of running past everything, I stealth kill most enemies on the way to the second fuse. I brute force my way through the door, grab the fuse, and climb up to the top. Here, I just ran past all the enemies coming up from the sides and escaped. After grabbing the BSAA key, I quickly looted the area, grabbing 3 grenades, some rifle ammo, and a large gunpowder. And now we have the gas station, an area I quickly realized I didn't have enough ammo for, so I backtracked to the supply box and stocked up. The second time around, I have the ammo this time, so the enemies were easily taken out. After grabbing the gas, the chainsaw zombie will break through the boxes, but he's dealt with 2 sniper shots to the face, and the other zombie on the floor a few shells. Right when I went outside, I shot the zombie with the red barrel and ran forward to take out the ones coming from along the wall. I then switch to the sniper and take out the zombies coming out of the shed, and then from the gas station. This leaves one little zombie coming through the middle on the left, but he's easily done with a few sniper shots. Now that all the enemies are dead, the chainsaw mini-boss will burst through the car, so I prepare a Requiem shot while aiming right here. After firing the Requiem through the car, this should bring the chainsaw man down, giving me the chance to do a melee followed by a finisher. Now with the gas, I power up the door and go through the apartment building. After dropping down, I run immediately to the crank, and as soon as Leon's done using it, I reload my checkpoint to avoid damage from the zombie with the machine gun. I make my way back upstairs and use the crank to go to the mortar section. To start, I shoot the zombie controlling the mortar at the top of the stairs, and he's taken out with a single round from the machine gun. cause he's a loser with 1 HP.
And you know what's gonna be on your tombstone? Loser.
Then I run to bait the 2 zombies on the left and run back towards the start. I take them out with the very little ammo I have left, and then run to where they came from. There, I kill another 1 HP loser and climb up the ladder. Doing this will aggro both the enemies up there, so I make sure to quickly jump down and shoot the explosive to kill them both. Now finally in control of the mortar, I go absolutely berserk and clear up the area. I collect the broken receiver, bait the next swarm, and also finish them off with the mortar. I unlock the storage container where I find the... Oh my god. The repair kit's been here the whole time? And now with the repair kit, I finally make my way to the glass area. The enemies here are victims to the usual AI manipulation in Capcom games. Just looking away. To get past them, I just look down while hugging the wall. Now with all the detonator parts, I can head back down to the gate, but of course there's an elevator section. To get past the enemies, I repeat the same strategy as before, just looking down. This did take a few attempts, but I got through it without taking any damage and lowered the first half of the lift. The second half was pretty much the same. I only had a reset because I'm a dummy and shot the wrong barrel. I also almost choked the second time and threw this barrel for some reason, but I somehow made it through to the other wheel. Now on the elevator, instead of doing the famous lookup strat, in the beginning I take out the enemies until the blister head spawns in. Once it spawns in, I kill it and another zombie with the collateral using the Requiem, and then begin the lookup strat until the section's over. It actually baffles me that this works, but at this point, a win is a win for me. After blowing up the gate, we begin the motorcycle chase with Gideon, which of course I had no resets on. Like, come on, it's the easiest section. At the RPD, I buy some ammo, grab the jack, and use it on the west door. Then I run into Zeno and Grace, ending Leon's section and starting the most intense section of the game. Maybe most intensely painful because of how boring it is, but I tried to spice it up by transforming the children into mini tyrants, and it was actually kind of terrifying, but besides that, this section is pretty easy. The only skip worth mentioning here is that you can hide behind the child that falls from the sky here and escape very quickly. Back at the RPD, we are reacquainted with Mr. X, and he's easy to avoid on the way out of the station, but once out, oh my god. I died so many times here, as you could probably imagine. I tried to do the quick fight using the shotgun, but there were 2 problems. 1, I didn't have the ammo, and 2, I've never practiced this before, so I had no idea where to stand to inflict max damage. And after 32 attempts, I was just feeling great. On my final attempt, I started the fight, baiting an attack, and then shooting from behind the cars. Then he jumps on top of a car, so I fire a focused Requiem shot to his heart, making him fall off. I made some distance and sniped him a few times, and then baited him behind the cars again and used the shotgun. To stop his charge attack, I fired the Requiem at his heart, and then with a few more shotgun shells, he was down. To finally finish him off, I fired a few more rounds to his heart and used the hatchet as a finisher. And let me just say, this was probably one of the worst boss fights I've ever done in a challenge video. It truly brought out unspeakable things in me. Now we have back-to-back boss fights with Plant 43, and luckily this one's a lot easier. To get there, I killed the plants along the way and sniped the 2 zombies. And because I'm absolute garbage, I met my demise a few times to this plant.
You have no skills and you're a loser!
During the boss fight, I took out the plant with a combination of the gal, and then I finished it off with the shotgun. The fight wasn't too hard, it just took me a few attempts to learn the attack patterns. Or at least that's what I'm telling myself. Now in Ark, the final stretch of the game, I eliminated the first group of elite guards with a stack grenade that I threw right when the lights went out. In the next room, I take out the 4 guards with headshots from the rifle, cross the bridge, and jump down, quickly going to the back corner. Here, I snipe the enemies falling from above, and this should have cleared the room, so I have no idea where this guy came from, so I ended up panicking and axed him to death, and somehow didn't get damaged. Before heading to the commander boss fight, I upgraded the power on my hatchet and reloaded the checkpoint. On the way to the fight, I go to another checkpoint, and from there, I change the perspective to 3rd person and my movement type to run, and then reloaded once again. This sets up the hunk insta-kill prompt, so the commander was easily taken out. And right after the fight ended, I totally forgot 2 soldiers come through the door, so I died. But on my second attempt, I took them out and ended Leon's section. Back as Grace, we start her cursed Ark section of the run. It requires super specific movement to get by unscathed, so I'm sure you could just guess how it's gonna go for me. And for once, I would actually like to report that I'm just kidding. I somehow did really well here. So to start the first area, I shoot behind the liquor right after Grace is done being stunned, and then I dodge the liquor around the corner, grab 2 bottles of acid and the override key. This liquor's positioning is random on the way back, but I got lucky here and ran past him. Same with this liquor around the corner, and I almost blew it by going the wrong way, but somehow managed to save it. Now I head downstairs and take a wide turn around this liquor, insert the override key, and grab the magnetic key. On the way back, I ran past the liquor again and re-enter the sterilization chamber. I use a bottle of acid to kill the liquor and 2 shots to stagger the zombie in the doorway. I dodge a liquor by looping around the island and got some good RNG here to dodge the zombie on my way to the door. Now this is where all hell breaks loose. After grabbing the red orb, a huge wave of zombies crowds in here. And now looking back, I probably could have used the speedrun strategy here because this is Grace's last real section of the game and taking a little bit of damage wouldn't have mattered. But I'm an idiot. So after grabbing the orb, I used a glass bottle to slow down the first 2 enemies entering the room, and then once they bunched up, I used a Molotov, followed by an acid bottle. I looped the remaining enemies around the room and got out unscathed, but let me tell you, this definitely took a few tries. Now to grab the second orb, I bump the back of the zombie to pass him and get past the liquor. This zombie can be tricky to get by, but if you go as far left as possible and dip into the container, you should be okay. After grabbing the final orb, I run past another liquor and jump back down to the floor. On the way back, 2 more liquors will break through the glass, but I can run right past them and also run past the last liquor by taking a wide turn around the hall. And after inserting the 2 orbs in the door, we begin Leon's section, where we see why Ark absolutely sucks. I start the section by quickly shooting the zombie in the face with a shotgun, and then somehow this liquor doesn't detect you if you crouch by him. So I do exactly that and grab the grenade. Now we enter the room that nightmares are made of.
This must be the room.
To start, I pass the 2 liquors up top and jump down, and then here is where I died a number of times.
Another one. Another one. Another one. And another one.
Eventually, I managed to make it inside, and then I used a grenade to clear my way out. I scooch by the liquor in the doorway, parry this zombie, and take a wide turn around this one with the knife. I make it upstairs, grab the override key, a grenade, and a Requiem round, and then leave the area. Now we have the liquor room, where I failed my first attempt because of yet another accuracy issue. I also died a few more times, but on my 8th attempt, I used both barrels to take care of most of the liquors and used my shotgun and hatchet to get the last one. The zombies breaking free on the left side are easily dealt with a stacked grenade, and on the right side, some shotgun action. Back as Grace for the final time, we begin the holding W simulator just to get back to Leon, where we release Elpis and begin the Victor fight. This fight was really tough, don't get me wrong, but I found Mr. X to be a bit harder. Victor's attacks are pretty easy to parry, but the only thing I had trouble with was my hatchet durability. Pretty easy to parry, pretty easy to parry, pretty easy to parry. I didn't have much of a strategy going into this fight. I just tried to parry his attacks when I could and kept my distance between shotgun clips. I used the last of my Requiem ammo, followed by the Gal, which I used before he was doing his power-up and during. I used the last of what little ammo I had left to get him to drop the rocket launcher, and then blasted his ass. And if only that was the end of the fight. His second phase gave me some very unfortunate Nemesis Inferno PTSD, and as you can imagine, I died a lot because I forgot to sharpen my hatchet before it was too late. I start the second phase out with 2 stock grenades and some SMG rounds to bring him down and take out his bubbles. But after all my grenades were gone, I really needed to lock in because I was running out of ammo. So I had to hit every parry, and I was trying and sometimes succeeding at landing every shot. Emphasis on sometimes. But finally, I finish him off with the pistol, bringing an end to this challenge. And if I sound relieved, it's because I am. I wanted to do this challenge as a joke after that comment in my stream, and I had no idea it would be this hard or painful, so I really hope everybody enjoyed the video. And now, as the results appear, the achievements roll in, and I just completed Resident Evil Requiem's hardest difficulty without using the blood collector, healing, and in under 4 hours. Sure, I died about 250 times, but who's counting? Am I right? Anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. Expect more Resident Evil Requiem challenges, and until the next one, see ya!